first operation is changing the transmitter internal battery voltage display. You can see here it's showing 7.6 volts, and that is the voltage of the battery inside this transmitter. If we click on here on the display, changes it to a percentage of total battery life, and this bar here will show the battery life. We'll change it back to volts. Secondly, we can use this selection here to select the mode of operation. It says here right steer, left throttle. So the right control stick is going to steer, and the left one is going to activate the throttle. To change it, we press on the selected mode, which is highlighted here on the menu, and use these up and down arrows to move between the selections. There are 4: left steer, right throttle, right steer, left throttle, left steer with 2 separate throttles, and right steer with 2 separate throttles. To change it, you just simply press on the mode that you want, press select, press yes, we want to change it, and you see the mode has changed to left steer, right throttle. If we want to change to 2 separate throttles on each stick, we hit this again, select mode 3 or mode 4, and this will give us a left steer with 2 separate throttles. We'll say yes to this. So now the throttles will be controlled like this, left and right motor individually. To change it back to the standard, we'll go back to mode 1. Mode 1 is the mode that is the controller is shipped from the factory. Now we're going to change the battery low voltage alarm setting, and the battery low voltage alarm setting is specific to each mode that is selected. So if we want to change it for mode 1, we go in and change the battery alarm for mode 1. If we need to change mode 2, we have to do that separately. Changing it one time will not change the low voltage alarm for all of the modes. So we go into Tools, Sensor, Battery. You'll see the low warning alarm is set to 18 volts. That's the 18 volts on the boat. The alarm will sound on the transmitter. To increase that, you press the plus. To decrease it, you press the minus. We recommend not setting the voltage alarm below 18 volts. The boat will fail completely at 12 volts. The default setting is 21 volts. To turn it off, press RST. To go back to 21 volts, we'll just toggle it up here. (21). When it's complete, press the back and back and back. So we're at the menu screen again. So the left steer, right throttle voltage alarm is set at 21 volts. To change the other modes, we need to select another mode. We'll go to mode 2 this time. Go back into the battery alarm setting. You'll see here now for mode 2 the low voltage warning is off. So we're going to turn that on and set it to 21 volts. Just to confirm that, we'll go back in 21 volts. And that process can be repeated for all 4 control modes. The next procedure is to adjust the endpoint settings, which is the amount of throttle power applied when the throttle's pushed forward. You can actually slow down the motors on the transmitter, so as you push the stick all the way forward, the boat is slower. So you can slow the boat down so it's easier to control in a low velocity environment. And how to do that is the endpoint settings. Here's the screen. Channel 2 and channel 3 are the throttles. It's not clearly marked, but on this controller, channel 2 and channel 3 are always the throttles. To select each channel, you just press on the lower percentage, and to move between the two, this is reverse and this is forward, plus and minus. Plus for forward, minus for reverse. So you can set the maximum motor power for forward and reverse by pressing the plus and minus. So if we select forward on channel 2, which is the right throttle, we can increase the maximum speed by increasing the percentage to 140. That's the maximum you can select. The factory setting is 140. So we'll set the other throttle same way to 140. So now the boat is configured with the maximum speed when the 2 throttles move forward. If you want to slow the boat down, you simply repeat the procedure. Press the negative arrow here, and as the percentage goes down, the boat speed and maximum throttle goes down. So you can see here that now we're only at 40% of maximum power on channel 3, which is actually the left throttle. So now we'll do channel 2. So both throttles are now set at 40% of maximum power when they're fully applied forwards. So the boat is going to be a lot slower under these settings, but it will give more fine control of the throttle for low velocity conditions. Same with the reverse direction. You shouldn't have to adjust this. You really only need to leave it at 80%. Don't increase it above 80% because the motors become a little bit unstable. They kick up out of the water if too much power is applied. So you can leave them. So we'll reverse the settings back to the factory setting of 140. And when these are done, just hit back and you're back to the main menu. The individual EPA settings, endpoints, are specific to each mode, like the battery voltage. So to change the endpoints for another mode, then you need to go into it separately, select that mode, and then again go into the endpoints for that mode. If you only ever use one mode, then it's easy. You only need to reset one mode. This setting was already at the factory setting for channel 2 and channel 3. As you can see, it's 140 and 80%. The 4 trim controls here trim for channel 4, channel 3, channel 2 and channel 1. You can move left or right to adjust the fine trim of the steering and the throttles. You can see on the bar display on the LCD that the black bar indicates the trim position here as you move the trim switches. That's a good indication of where your trim is versus the 0 point. You'll get a louder beep when you're at the 0 point. So if you need to trim the two throttles on the boat to make sure they're both equal and the boat travels in a straight line, then you can use these two trim switches to do that.